Today I'm going to try to make chicken pot pies. I've never made them before, so this is going to be new for me and for you. I started by assembling all my ingredients in advance, which I highly recommend, and I'll tell you what they are. I have 2 pounds of chicken breasts that I've diced up, 1 bag of frozen mixed vegetables, 3 potatoes peeled and diced, 2/3 of a cup of onion diced, 1/3 of a cup of butter, 2/3 of a cup of flour, salt, pepper, celery seed, poultry seasoning, chicken broth, and milk. 2 cups of those. The instructions from the recipe that I got say what you're supposed to do is take the chicken and the frozen vegetables and the potatoes, put them in a pan, fill that pan with water till just covering, and bring to a boil. Here you can see I added the chicken, potatoes, and the mixed vegetables. I have them in a pot. I just covered them with enough water to cover all that stuff. I'm going to boil these for 12 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to take my onion and butter, melt it in a saucepan, and then I'm going to slowly whisk in my flour to form a paste, and I'll add my other spices and broth and make a thick sauce. So I'll show you how I do that. My onions are beginning to look translucent, so I'm going to sprinkle them with the flour and form a thick paste. I sprinkle about half the flour and stir it, and then do the rest of it. You see, it really thickens it up quickly. At this time, we're going to add the other spices too. As soon as this is incorporated, we'll add the broth in the milk. Okay, here's the sauce for the filling. It combined really nicely. I brought the whole thing to a boil for about 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, and when it got nice and thick, I removed it from the heat. Now, I'm going to let this cool down for about 30 to 45 minutes till it's completely cool before I do anything with it regarding the pot pies. Whenever the mixture of chicken and vegetables is done boiling, I'm going to drain it in the sink using a colander, and I'm going to set all of that stuff aside also to cool for the same period of time as this sauce. Okay, well, my filling is completely cooled and I'm ready to start assembling my pot pies. I let my pre-bought pie crusts come to room temperature, and I found a bowl that's bigger than my pie pans because I'm going to use it as a guide to cut out the part that fits inside. I'll show you what I mean. I have a bigger bowl here. It's upside down on the pie crust. I'm going to trim around it with a knife and show you how nicely it fits in there. Here you can see how they look whenever the pie crust is on the bottom part. There's a lot of overlap here, and don't worry about that. Just get it fitted in really nicely inside, because when we add the filling and then we put the top part of the crust on, we're going to crimp it together and then take off all the excess. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to continue to cut out more pie crusts so that I have 6 pot pies, and then I'm going to start to fill. I'm going to mix the sauce and the chicken vegetable mixture together and then scoop it in. And remember that that mixture is completely cooled. Okay, well, here's one of the pies that's filled up. You can see how I filled it pretty full. And before I filled it up, I flipped over the pot pie container and I traced it on dough. And so I have a piece of dough here that is going to fit perfectly on top. I'm going to put it on top and then use my fingers and probably a fork to crimp the edges. I'm going to cut 3 slits in the top, and then my pie will be done. Okay, well, here's the finished product. There's 2 options from this point. You can either bake it right away, or like I'm going to do, I'm going to bake one tonight just to taste test these, and I'm going to freeze the rest. So to freeze them, I'm going to cut a piece of wax paper to cover the top, and then I'm going to put the plastic lids that came with these. You see these types of lids on top. and I'm going to freeze them. The recipe says you can freeze them for up to 3 months. And then when you want to serve them, you take them out and put them frozen right into your oven. And you bake them for the same amount of time frozen as you do fresh. So tonight I'm going to bake this for 75 minutes at 350. Like I said, I just want to taste it and make sure it tastes good. And in 2 months from now, when we want to have the rest of these for dinner, I'll bake it for the same amount of time, for 75 minutes at 350. Here's what the pot pie looks like fresh from the oven. It smells delicious. I hope that you liked watching me cook. And if you'd like to see more, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks.